Discussion keeps the world turning.
This is Roundtable.
From the heart of Beijing to the edges of the global stage, you are at Roundtable. I'm Niu Honglin. Step into a shopping mall in China today, and you might notice that food trafficking is rising, restaurants are full, and premium outdoor brands are booming. But look closer. You see two very different shopping stories unfolding at the same time. Middle-aged consumers are fueling spending in malls, buying quality products and lifestyle upgrades. Meanwhile, many young shoppers are heading somewhere else, to flea markets, resale apps, and second-hand boutiques, where the thrill lies in the treasure hunt experience. Let's talk about that today. And for a Roundtable this episode, I'm joined by Steve Hatherley and Yushan. Now pull up a chair and join the conversation. Second-hand markets used to conjure images of dusty stalls and bargain hunting, but in many Chinese cities today, resale stores look quite modern. From vintage electronics to collectible toys and rare music gear, resale platforms and flea markets are turning everyday shopping into a search for personality and a story behind the products. While middle-aged shoppers, especially the golden generation aged between 40 to 50, have replaced the Gen Zers as the primary big spenders in malls, the younger generation is enjoying the world of second-hand retail. Here on Roundtable, we have been talking about second-hand market for several times, but for different reasons. And now we're comparing these two shopping groups and seeing the reason behind their shopping preferences. But let's start with the younger generation. Why and are they really enjoying the second-hand market?
Yeah, that's a relatively new thing I noticed from ever since recent year. Before, I didn't see secondhand trading as such a big deal. Like, it happens all the time. It's around us. But apparently here in 2025, there's a number showing that the total number of second-hand platform users born after 2005 grew by over 30%. And for them, second-hand isn't just about saving money. It's really something that can trigger your pursuit for your interest. But no matter how quote-unquote niche they might appear to be, you can basically chase all the trendy toys, the celebrity merchandise, and even musical instruments on second-hand platforms. Before, that would be unimaginable. For musical instrument, you have to go to a store and try it out. But here, I'm looking at apps like Zhuanzhuan or Xianyu. By the way, the data comes from one of Zhuanzhuan's 2025 annual Insight on Secondhand Consumption report, too. So when I'm on these platforms these days, I see people selling, here's my cello. And it's 99.
Why are they British?
I know. Does it hurt you as a musician?
As a previous musician, former musician, I see it and I'm like, I can't believe this is happening.
Really?
And it's like 1 point something one, which is like dozens of thousands of yuan.
Yeah, I mean, for me, that I love this kind of shopping. I absolutely love it. I love the apps. I love bargain hunting. Sometimes I'll go on the apps. I have no intention of buying anything at all. I'm just super curious about what people are selling. And it could be a secondhand shop, or it could be just individuals who are selling stuff. But a cello, see, I would have stopped on that one if I were scrolling, because I would wonder, oh, a cello for sale, how much is that? I don't even have any idea. So yeah, I think that's part of the attraction to this, is that people are bargain hunting a little bit, but I think there's a little bit of curiosity in general too, because people are so used to going to shopping malls and looking at different types of brand new stuff.
Yeah.
But have you bothered the poor seller by asking them so many questions?
No,
You're
that's
not
rude.
even a potential buyer.
I've been on, no. I don't communicate with them. But there are people that do that.
Yes.
And it's such bad etiquette, in my opinion. This is part of the frustration of selling stuff secondhand on apps, is that not everyone does it, but there are people that will bombard you with questions.
That you already put in the description of the
Sometimes
items.
in the description of the item already, and then you just say, yeah, please refer to the post.
Right.
Or sometimes they'll ask extra questions, and you think, oh, they're definitely going to buy this.
No,
and then they
not
say,
really.
okay, thanks, yeah, not interested. And it's like, oh, I just wasted 30 minutes talking to you.
But I have to say, it depends on what kind of seller you are, because I do have experience of reading stories or talking to my friends, knowing that sometimes when they had this really fun conversation with someone who is asking about the good that they're putting on these secondhand market, secondhand platform, they had a really good conversation, no matter whether or not the deal is made. So, flips two sides of the coin.
Yeah,
Depends.
absolutely. Yeah, and it's not just happening online either. It's happening offline too. There's leading online secondhand trading platforms. You have those. Xianyu, I think, is one. But they're expanding their offline stores too. Xianyu Recycle Shop, I think, is the name of that. They've done that in the last few years. So when they opened their first physical location, they did that in Hangzhou a couple of years ago. The platform from that time on has been rolling out some more community-style secondhand items and shops in the shops that people are really getting into. Shenzhen's in on it now, Wuhan, Suzhou, Wushi's there as well. And it's a bit like a neighborhood recycling hub if you want to think about it that way. You can bring in your unused items to sell in those offline shops. You can look around yourself for some cool cellos or whatever you're looking for.
Hopefully not.
And then the stores too, they have a list of services like dog walking or running errands and stuff like that too. So it really does kind of function like a community hub / secondhand store.
Yeah, that's something that's quite niche, quite new since recent years, that we often think of Xianyu just remaining online and all the other platforms too, but now they are opening their offline stores to enhance credibility in the sales, as some people say it. And then beyond these new retail concepts, traditional secondhand markets are also getting a second life. For example, here in Beijing, there's one kind of locally popular known one called 大柳树 Guanxin Market. It's a large, several floor retail center that you can buy.
Fun.
Yeah, like a big fair with outdoors and indoor area. You can buy literally everything there. And now it's transforming into a lively night bazaar too, twice a week, just attracting vendors and visitors from across northern China to set up temporary stalls, selling everything.
Yeah, what are they selling there?
For example, vintage electronics.
Cool.
Yeah, old MP3 players. I've seen people showing off. And for some young people, you just walking through the market gives you this sense that you're just enjoying a time, perhaps with a friend or with yourself, instead of shopping in a shopping mall.
And there are amateur but serious collectors. They are collecting based on a certain theme or a certain area. Like for them, if collecting MP3s is one thing, they can get different types of MP3 players from different markets and then have a tiny little home museum of theirs if they want. Are we saying that we're now only shopping in? We're not. We're only shopping in secondhand market and the malls are relatively not that popular anymore?
No, of course not. The mall is actually getting popular these days, as China saw about 17,200 visitors per day in 2025. And that's according to another report called the 2025 National Shopping Mall Foot Traffic Trend Report, released by Yushan Big Data. And also it indicates a 13.1% increase compared with previous year, that's 2024. So all of which pointing out that there's been a rise in people attending shopping mall, but it's not really the Gen Z taking the lead this time, according to that report, but the 40 to 50 years old, meaning people born between 1975 and 1985, who are right now driving the growth engine in shopping malls.
Yeah, from that report too, it talks about what they're spending their money on. These middle-aged shoppers, they're spending quite a bit of cash actually on some some high-end outdoor gear. That would be stuff related to probably camping, hiking, that type of thing.
Cycling.
Exercise, sure, cycling. Oh, that can get very expensive very quickly. Also, this is right up my alley. Premium warehouse grocery shopping clubs. Yes, please. I almost signed up for another one last week, and I already have a membership at a different one.
I just renewed mine.
Did you? Yeah. We could do a whole show on that. Dining as well, on high quality dining, spending money there too. There's also the traveler shoppers, which I think is kind of interesting. I've never considered, a shopping mall as a destination, but that's happening now too.
Yeah, people, they travel from other districts or even other cities just to visit a specific destination mall, they call it, in bigger cities. And that's generating a massive part of the local spending, that reaching up to 40% in some areas. So this doesn't mean that people travel on their way and happen to stop by. This actually means that out of every 10 customers who walk into the gate of the shopping mall, about 4 don't actually live nearby.
Interesting
So they are,
stat.
yeah, they're just arriving at the shopping mall as their destination of traveling.
I think there are many reasons for these kind of shopping or shoppers. One is that we talked about this on Roundtable. This is part of the mini travel that people can enjoy as city dwellers. That is, you travel to a different part of the city or a nearby city to the shopping mall area, because nowadays the shopping mall is definitely not just a shopping mall. They have a lot of different restaurants. They have movie theaters inside. They even have little playgrounds for
ice
kids.
Rinks. Yeah.
Yes, that too. Ice rinks or little indoor theme park things. So you can drop your kid there. Don't drop your kid and just go. Leave someone with the kid.
Thanks for the advice, Mom.
But the idea is that it can be a whole day family fun experience. And another reason is that for these major shopping malls, sometimes they would have different types of campaign, different types of discount. So it actually is a good deal to spend an entire day there. So that explains how come the traveler shoppers are becoming a thing here in China, especially for those who do have a bit more money to spend, but are also doing a bit planning when it comes to major shopping plans for the family.
Yeah, shopping malls are becoming more like experience centers
for
now.
them as well.
Yeah.
But talking about experience, we see that the Gen Zers are looking for different types of experience. We mentioned the fact that they can definitely have a good bargain on secondhand platforms. We mentioned that for them, it is a good thing that they can shop for the kind of items that are not that easy to get in other platforms, in other first-hand platforms like an MP3 player. You really don't have a lot of places that you can shop for those. But what are some other reasons?
Well, traditionally, there's always been a fear, at least is for my case, if not everybody else's case, when it comes to secondhand shopping via online channels. That's, what if we get the fake one that doesn't fit my original goal of buying something like this? You always have to spend hours and hours comparing this person's post with that person's post just to make sure that you get the legitimate thing. But one reason that this trend is exploding in China nowadays is that the market is really getting a lot more attention on this matter and trying to reassure customers that yes, we want to eliminate this old fear of buying fake products.
Getting more professional.
Getting more professional with both their online and especially large warehouse-style offline stores. Here's one example. So one shopper, reported by Consumption Daily earlier this year, that one shopper named Mr. Zhou, he was browsing the camera section in the Super Zhuan store, that's an offline store, and eventually picked a model that had been officially inspected and certified by the store. So that's something these platforms offer nowadays, is that they check the product for you first before before putting them on shelf. So before coming in, Mr. Zhou, he had already checked the price of the same camera on the secondhand market and realized just about how deep the water can get when it comes to price. And here here in that offline store, it costs about half the price of a brand new one. Slightly higher than some other sales platforms, he said, but it came with a after-sales service and a warranty. So for him, that's a good purchase. That's a good way of getting something that he's looking for as a camera.
A little peace of mind, yeah. China, too, has rolled out some government policies to protect and encourage the secondhand market's development. This happened not long ago, actually. At the beginning of this year, the Ministry of Commerce, they put out along with 8 other government departments, a policy notice on promoting green consumption. So among the 20 specific measures that this policy included, the document explicitly supports the development of second-hand goods circulation, and it encourages new models like Internet plus second-hand commerce, and it calls for more small resale shops and consignment stores to grow across the country and across the market in general.
Yes, and it has seen fruitful results already. We've named the major platforms when it comes to secondhand shopping, but there are many private shops, and a lot of young people are not only becoming the seller and buyer of secondhand goods, they're also the owner of the secondhand little stores. And in these stores, you're not only purchasing for, well, you're not purchasing for something that you already had in mind. For example, I need a new keyboard, and I go to the secondhand market because I know, to start with, the product is verified by the platform, so that I do not have to worry about counterfeit. And second, I know it can give me a good bargain. Yes, that's one type of shopper. But what I'm describing is another type of shopper. That is, they're having fun in these secondhand shops.
That's what I was trying to say before. Like,
Yes.
it's just fun to look around, and then
fun to look around.
Suddenly you'll find something, and it's kind of a spontaneous purchase.
Yes, and we see a lot of startups trying and also managing to open this little secondhand shop. And what they do is that they do have relatively more specific areas, but they don't have a specific kind of goods. They usually go for the kind of toys, plush toys, or the toy that you can put on your table as a decoration kind of toy. And also wedding dress, because sometimes for some people, they decided to buy a wedding dress, and guess what? You only wear it for a day or 2 days. And after a while, after your, newlywed freeze in your or frenzy in your heart fade away, you decided to put it for second hand sale because you no longer need it. It's taking up space in the drawer, in the wardrobe.
Well, if the relationship is going like you just described, it sounds like you will need it again.
It's not a relationship thing. It's just that you realize your marriage is more important than a dress.
Yeah.
Anyways,
that's a smart idea for putting that on a secondhand store
Future
for sure.
advice.
Yes, wedding dress and also hanfu, that is traditional Chinese costume. And after wearing it for a while, most people, when wearing these kind of costumes, they definitely love it, but they also want new ones. So they will make sure that the used, very carefully managed ones are still in good shape, and they will be in the hand of those who want it and try it on. So these kind of things. And for this specific seller, I'm talking about the startup, they will definitely make sure that all of the secondhand goods that she is receiving so that she can sell and then give the money back to the seller is at least 90% new. And she will definitely clean it and sanitize it. And she's putting a little bit of tech element in her little shop. That is, it's 24/7 and it's totally self-help. You go into the shop, you can try on the clothes that you like, and then you can scan the QR code and take the stuff away.
Interesting. I've never heard I've heard of that with convenience stores or candy stores or, supermarket stuff, but never with clothing before.
And you know who loves this? Those who do not really want someone as a sales assistant. They don't want sales assistant to talk to them. They don't want to bargain with the seller, even if they are purchasing in a second-hand store. They do not want bargain. They just want to find the things they like and quietly take it away.
You can try
with
on
paying.
You can try on your secondhand wedding dress at 4 a.m. with nobody around.
Nobody around, and it's a good experience.
Speaking of clothing, this is an interesting statistic too. This is from CNBC from late last year. The global secondhand apparel market expected to reach $367 billion by 2029. That's not the interesting part. This is growing almost 3 times faster than the overall apparel market globally. So people are buying used clothes faster than they're buying new clothes.
Yeah, because I think from the buyer's point of view, I've heard a story of a young girl who used to love buying luxury kind of brands and really expensive clothes. And once she became a seller for the first time and realized that the kind of very expensive dress that she bought, after wearing it for several times, it can only be sold at a price of 10%, if not 5%.
Gosh, really? Like cars? Even worse than cars?
And see, it depends. And she suddenly lost her interest in buying that particular type of luxury brand clothing or fast fashion kind of clothing. So that would be perhaps a perspective from a buyer. Yet from a seller, you have different reasons. Some people sell their handicrafts because it's brand new, but they made them from scratch and they decided that, there are just too many plush toy in my home that I personally made. Let's exchange them for some money and maybe have them in the hand of someone who likes it. And when it comes to the kind of experience you definitely many young people would enjoy in a secondhand market. I've heard this lovely story saying that on a secondhand platform, you can be definitely, well, I'm talking about the online one, you can definitely be both a buyer and a seller.
Yeah.
And one buyer said that the reason that I got this luxurious, really good, expensive, collectible toy is because the seller checked out my kind of like my friend circle or my moments on that second-hand platform and realized that I take my plush toys to travel around and take them to see the world. And the owner of that very expensive collectible toy said, I want you to take my little toy to see the world as well. That's why I'm selling it to you. And they
That's so
became friends.
sweet.
Yeah, it is very sweet.
Yeah,
so young people are enjoying not only the goods, but the experience.
Yeah, they're taking things serious to a point that we want to make
Yeah.
sure that even if it's just a toy, it's not that you're buying from me to sell it.
I totally understand this. When I moved in Korea one time, my new house didn't have space for my outdoor barbecue. And a guy contacted me and he said, I saw the pictures and that looks amazing. Can I come and check it out? And he came and checked it out. And he said, I'm interested. And I said, do you have a nice space for this? I was asking, are you going to treat it well?
Yes.
I asked him, how often do you think you're going to be barbecuing? Is this like a once a 6 months thing for you? He's like, oh no, when the weather's good, I'll be out there every weekend. I said, sir, congratulations on your new barbecue. Because it was stupidly important to me that my barbecue found a happy home.
Yes, it's a thing.
Yeah, it's if I may say, not really that stupidly. It's like something that we want that my old property is treated nicely and that I can expect that it's used instead of being sold or being just put out there and collect dust. And it's something that people also kind of remind young people nowadays when it comes to secondhand trading, especially when it comes online, that you never leave the platform too, because a lot of the times when transactions happen outside of the platform, it goes without all the checking and the protection of the platform, so anything may happen. And also in the meantime, when you actually get in contact with either you are the seller and they're the buyer, or the other way around, make sure that you ask the right questions and make sure that they're not just another individual that act as someone who's looking for product, but actually they're just small secondhand store, if not stores or businesses on their own that trying to collect things so that they can sell it at a higher price. So that might comes with safety issues, loopholes too.
Definitely. And there's this one story that I have to share about this secondhand store. The store's name is called Shantao, like benevolent buying, because it's a charity store. And all of the staff they're hiring are people with special needs or with disabilities. And most of, I think 70% of the goods that they're selling are brand new, and they are donated by different types of individuals and different companies. And what's interesting is that because they're donated, so many of those are kind of like souvenirs or sometimes used, sometimes brand new souvenirs from, for example, renowned universities, because, some universities would give out the kind of handbag or notebooks or
themed products.
Themed product and souvenir from the campus. Sometimes it's important events, for example, maybe Olympic Games or national games held in that city, and you would get a souvenir, and those are donated to the store so that the store can sell it to people, and the revenue can be used to support the lives of those people with disabilities. So it becomes something that's very nice.
Wonderful.
And those who shop in these stores would sometimes become friends and going to other charity activities together because they share the same quote-unquote hobby. I guess it's a good heart. But this kind of stories happen in a lot of different areas as well. For charity, it's definitely lovely. But even if it's just because you have the same hobby and you meet each other in a shop with that theme and you become real friends in real life, no matter if the shop is online or offline, it's still something that young people across the country are trying to find, trying to enjoy, on top of the fact that in secondhand stores, they can have a good bargain as well. And I have to ask this because previously, or right before the show, we had the conversation about whether or not we've made friends with strangers before, because I haven't. I have never made friends with strangers, partly because when I was a teenager, internet was not that popular just yet. So making a internet or making a netizen, finding a netizen as my friend without meeting them was not that popular for my generation when I was a teenager. And also because now I can do that, but I don't think I have that mentality anymore. I'm not in that stage in my life anymore. But many of my friends, my younger friends, had the experience of talking to someone online for a specific reason and realizing that, we share so much in common and we can be real life friends as well. And that mentality, is it really that popular for your generation, Yushan?
First of all, there are many different categories when it comes to friend. Second of all, we've come to my generation, if I can speak for
millions of people.
Yes,
go on.
My generation is more tolerant, if not open up with meeting people and knowing people and get to be friends with people online, like you said, Honglin. So when it comes to making very close friend, I still doubt if that is the case for every quote-unquote young people. But when it comes to sharing hobbies with people that I used not to know, but now I do, why not? Like I've met people like that in all different aspects of my life, and I would say it's been a nice journey. Even when selling secondhand thing, I have something. I have my concert ticket that I just sold out 2 days ago on one of the secondhand trading platforms. Because next week I have other arrangements, so I can't make it to Shanghai to attend this concert. What a sad story. But there's somebody who share the same interest of the theme of this concert, which is a video game. And we just happened to chat for like an hour about why we love this game rather than, do you actually want to buy this ticket? And of course, the young guy eventually bought it from me with a little bit of discount after we chatted, and I realized he genuinely wants to attend this concert. So yeah, I'll say, of course, nowadays young people do that, but the level of friendship is still questionable, but yes we do.
I sold my car online, actually. And the guy who was interested in buying it, he didn't end up buying it, but we talked a lot about the car and our interest in cars. And he was a lawyer. He was Korean American, really nice guy. And then I had a house party. And I said to him, would you like to come to my house party? Seemed like a pretty nice guy. I don't know if you're going to buy the car or not, but that's not why I invited him. He just seemed like a nice guy. So he came to the house party, and turns out he wasn't that cool. So we didn't become friends, and he didn't buy my car.
But
I don't know if this qualifies as an answer to your question, but that happened to me.
Yeah.
I tried, I guess, right? I tried.
I think overall, it's because we say it all the time. Internet brings us together, brings us closer. We say it all the time. But in real life, it does open possibilities, and it does create this grounds for people to, for those who are really open to the world, who would really start a genuine conversation, who does not really worry about whether or not my half-hour conversation with a stranger would be quote-unquote worth it. They are able to see the world from a different perspective and to have connections, forge a connection with a stranger, and perhaps open a brand new journey with someone that ended up becoming something that is very important to them. And maybe that experience is more and more seen in the secondhand platforms as well.
Yeah, it's always a possibility. But that being said, you know, if you are buying something from someone online, do your research like Mr. Joe did before he bought that camera. You know, kind of try to find out who you're dealing with a little bit and be as safe as you can because you're handing over your money, right? And one of the things they say as a tip, if you're on a platform, do the transaction on the platform.
Always.
Don't leave the platform and do a transaction somewhere else because you need that record on the platform to protect yourself.
Yes, and for the younger generation out there, if you're enjoying a good bargain, a good product, and a potential friendship on the secondhand market, why not?